Hey guys, what is going on? Today I wanted to share with you stock news updates on electric vehicle company Lucid, ticker LCID. If you're new to this channel, I would really appreciate you hitting the like and subscribing to All I See Is W, where we talk about stocks, investment, and fitness to gain on positive proceeds and to lead with an altruistic mindset. I appreciate all of your support. Now let's get started. Now here we're looking at the technicals of Lucid, right? So we know that on Friday, this company, the volume shot up significantly, right? I mean, its average volume was about 30 million. As you can see here, it shot all the way up to 208 million shares traded as of Friday in terms of just with the patterns that we see, right? I mean, it's picking up from a bullish standpoint on a near, mid, and long term perspective, right? I mean, Lucid has been bleeding out over the years starting at 2021, right? So it's been many months where we've seen long-term holders of Lucid just seeing their investment go down the drain. However, now that we're at the basement low, with folks dollar cost averaging down and new investors getting in at the basement low here, Lucid is beginning to pick back up. And we know that with the news around a potential buyout by the existing shareholder from Saudi Arabia investment firm, that really drove the company's share price up. In fact, Lucid at one point, if you zoom in during the day chart for Friday, it ran all the way up to close to $18 at one point, and then day swing traders sold off, where the price began to hover and consolidate at $12, $13. Now, heading into the new week starting on Monday, what do we foresee to happen, right? Well, I'm going to say that short sellers, they've been scorched last week, right? And now they're sweating, trying to cover what they've lost to reduce risk in the coming days and weeks to come, starting on Monday. So there's going to be the whole stock market, retail investors looking at Lucid as a primary stock to see how it's going to behave. But I'm really going to see the potential for it to run again. I'm thinking that Lucid may potentially just keep that volatility going and just skyrocket, right? I mean, we've seen it get close to $18, right? So I really see the potential in the upcoming week for it to easily ramp up to $15-20 range potentially, right? I mean, if there's any news that confirms that Saudi Arabia plans to buy out the rest of the 35% of shares remaining of Lucid, then that will solidify the news and the confirmation that this will likely happen, right? Most of you are wondering what's going to happen if Lucid goes private, right? I mean, we can't really foresee what would happen in terms of the implications, whether that's better for your investment or not, right? But ultimately, we know that Saudi Arabia has money. They like the story, the branding of Lucid, right? I mean, it's an all-time competitor of Tesla, and overall, I mean, the car, the product that they're producing, it's high quality, right? Now, just diving deep in the news in terms of what's going on, I mean, we know that there's rumors with the Saudi Arabia, investment firm potentially buying out this power play, Lucid, right? And it caused a sudden surge of Lucid shockwaves through the market, where in fact there was halts on Friday where you can buy or sell because of the speculative news that occurred, right? And of course, we saw some investors taking profits at the high point of like $17 and getting out, right? But one thing to keep in mind is that for short sellers, I mean, really not to underestimate the power of a Saudi Arabia investment firm, right? Because you may ultimately just increase your risks if you're trying to short sell Lucid, especially when it's backed up by a firm that has money, because we know money talks. So that's where I see Lucid overall, just in the market for how we see the performance trending. Lucid ranked number one in terms of weekly change percentage, right? And Tesla came out as number two, and then we also see other companies doing well, like Neo here, as you can see. So this is looking good overall in the EV sector, and I definitely believe that what has gone down will eventually go back up. And for Lucid, I'm banking that Lucid will, hopefully it breaks through the $20 range, right? And I'm forecasting in 2023 it can hover up to about $45-50, and the sky's the limit with where we see these type of company stocks, especially in the Nasdaq market, right? I mean, $50 may be, a low point. Who knows? Can this go up to $100? I definitely see the potential with Lucid if you hold this long term. Let's say if you're going like 2025, 2030, $100 per share of Lucid, that's well achievable from my perspective. Obviously, we see the share price at like $13 right now, so we don't really see that big of a jump, right? But just looking at how the Friday's price point went from like $8 to close to $18, I mean, that would be a factor of like a few positive gains, and then you're up into $100 already. So I'm definitely thinking that Lucid has a high probability of hitting $45, $50 as my price target for the year 2023. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed my video. And just also with Lucid, they have studios all around the United States, concentrated in California, New York, Canada, you name it. It's all over the place, including service facilities, ramping up its facilities in Saudi Arabia, other countries as well. So it's going global, increasing and maximizing its partnerships around Asian countries like Korea as well. We know that there's people who can buy very expensive vehicles like Lucid. So you see the potential with what Lucid is doing, and people like this story here because it's obviously building a brand for itself. And beware short sellers. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate you hitting the like and subscribing to All I See Is W. Thank you all.